Hi, kitty cats. Today is Tuesday, and I have a tidbit today about The Matrix, which we watched over this weekend here, and it kind of hits a little bit differently now that I've transitioned gender. And by popular demand, I'm not really entirely sure what time it's going to happen, but Jasmine Vine is going to be joining. And we're almost certain to laugh our heads off, which, is always a good time. And finally, depending upon the mood that we're in, maybe we'll play some Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood and find out, what's supposed to be going on with the Coven. So please stick around. We have some great times ahead for you. I'm saying we, like, I have a whole crew or something in the background working to make this happen. So let me hit some opening plugs first. I am Dr. Amethysta Herrick. I am both an author and a podcaster, and all of my work discusses identity and gender from a scientific standpoint. You can check down below the link for more information about me and the work that I do. You can see that website URL is purplepawclan.com. And if you go there, there's a whole page about me, and you can follow me on all the social media networks that I'm on to, and get more information about the work that I do. Wow. You can follow me, and you can read my articles, and you can view my podcast, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you like this particular comment, and boy, do I hope you do, maybe you'll consider subscribing down there at purplepawclan.com. You can get a subscription for as low as $5 a month, or you can really just sign up for the free newsletter where you'll find out about a lot of the things that go on in the background that I do. So you can do that too. I also like to publish articles and podcasts by other contributors. So if you have original work about identity and gender, I would love you to email me, and you can hit me through the contact page on the website, and I will publish your original work about identity and gender. So I do want to say, so let me give some welcomes here. First of all, hello to Charity Ann, and then also to, oh gosh, I'm not really sure what this is, from Sanity, but hello to both of you. Good to see you. I'm also ready to ditch some of these people. Bye. Presumably, All right, so here we go. On the other side here, I'm seeing your message, Margie, and my goodness. This is discrimination happening live right now. I should probably show comments. Hi to my wife, Ildiko, there. And I'm glad the band supports you, Margie, but what a crazy thing. Murdocracy, I've never seen you before, but presumably you love it when a plan comes together. It's Murdoch, anyway. All right, so like I said, I don't know exactly when Jasmine's going to drop in here. So what I'm going to do, we watched The Matrix, maybe it was on Monday night? I think it was on the weekend. I really don't remember exactly, but I would say the last time I saw The Matrix was easily like 20 years ago, maybe more. And probably the last time I saw it, I was not at all sober. That's probably a good guess. So knowing that since then, from 20 years ago to now, not only did the Wachowski sisters transition, I did, and they also called The Matrix, they called it an allegory for the transgender experience. So, this kind of made me think. I wanted to talk a little bit about how I ever saw this film in the first place. How are you not removed here? I'm getting a comment here from somebody named Olin who's telling me, please be whoever I want to be in my home, but don't what? Are you telling me I don't have the right to free speech? You're the one dropping comments in my comment log right here. You expect me to respect that, but now you're going to do what? Try to silence me? This is why I'm trying to drop you. Anyway, I learned about this film ultimately from my now ex-wife. We haven't been married for, I'm not even sure, 25 years almost. She actually saw it on network TV. So it wasn't even like on cable or something. But when she saw it, so I came home or something, and she said, "Oh, you've got to see this movie because Neo." There's the. Hopefully, I'm not going to give any spoilers here. If you haven't seen The Matrix, maybe hold off. I don't know, but she told me to watch it because Neo reminded her of me. And I get it. Maybe you're looking at me and you're like, well, certainly don't look like Keanu Reeves. You don't sound like Keanu Reeves. At the time, I guess I was wearing all black, and my hair would have been short and dyed black. And I think I've said this several times. I grew up in the Los Angeles area, and Bill and Ted were pretty much my people. So, But other than that, there's no reason to associate me with Keanu Reeves or the character of Neo. Oh, my friend Ms. Lewis just joined. Hello, Ms. Lewis. I've seen your videos this morning. So anyway, my ex-wife says there's one scene. I don't know what all reminded her of me at the time, but there was one scene in particular, and it's, again, this is a spoiler, but at the end of it, Neo actually, he gets knocked down. He gets knocked down, let's just say, and then stands back up. He's become the one, and all he does is hold up his hand and go, no, when he sees these agents, down at the end of the hall. They think they've taken him out. He stands up and just goes, no. And she said, you've got to see, because this is so you've got to see this. Now, I'm going to tell you, I ended up watching it with her. I have no idea exactly what she saw, exactly what she felt. I have no idea. But watching it again with all of that memory was making me think about, just the Matrix in general. Hey, somebody named Fat Yoshi says, yo, I'm in a math test. Help out quick. What's 5 times 3? 5 times 3 is 15. Yeah. Now make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for all of the notifications. I don't know. All right, so when we watched this movie, hello, Jessica. When I saw the movie for the first time, so my ex-wife knew at the time that I am transgender. So this would have been, 1990, whatever. I think it came out in 99. So, and we separated that year. So it must have been somewhere in that general area. Did she already feel the transgender allegory? I'm curious. Did she see Neo? I mean, obviously this is the story, but she saw Neo as this person willing and capable to rewrite the rules of the Matrix, and associated that with me as somebody willing and capable of writing the rules of social norms right now. Believe it or not, I don't intend to reach out to her to ask. Right? I don't intend to do that. But there are very interesting questions. Mr. Moneyman asks, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the Matrix. The Matrix, which according to the Wachowski sisters, is a transgender allegory. So since I am transgender, I am talking about it because I watched it recently. Here's a factoid. That's a good one. Premarin tablets were red pills. Ooh. That's kind of fascinating to know. Right. So as far as the Matrix goes, I don't want to spend a lot of time analyzing this. There is a lot of scholarship that has gone into analyzing what the Matrix means, how it relates to regular society. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to spend a little time because, here I am. It's my live, and if you're listening, then cool. It's pretty clear that the Matrix itself, so the actual software that's running within these people's heads, within these humans' heads, it's clear that the Matrix can at least be likened to social norms, right? If you don't think about them, if you don't think about social norms, if you don't think about the Matrix, you don't realize either of them exists. And I mean, I think this is true for many, 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 many people. Most people, they don't butt up against social norms and realize, oh my gosh, look, there's a reason why I feel uncomfortable. But there are those of us who know that there must be more. Kind of sound like Morpheus here for a moment. We know there must be more. We bump up against social norms and we get told we're wrong. And so we learn, first of all, not to trust our senses. We learn not to trust our minds. And we learn not to trust the world. Ultimately, there are only some of us, and I don't think this is just a transgender thing, but there are only some of us capable and willing to break those rules. I mean, and then if putting it in terms of the Matrix, of course, those are breaking the rules that the agents have to follow. And then putting it in our world, it's the rules that are social norms. It's really easy. It's really easy in our world, at the very least, to live outside the rest of society when you want to break these rules. You can go to San Francisco, let's say, and just go, I'm going to live in a place where it doesn't make a difference if I break these rules. Now it's kind of, in the Matrix, it's a bit less safe. I guess not in the Matrix, but for those who got out of the Matrix and they're like floating around in, whatever the little spaceshipy looking thing is, the Nebuchadnezzar, it's much less safe in the Matrix because they have machines chasing them, and that's kind of a bummer because they cut the ship open. That's a bummer too. But when we do break the rules, what happens in the Matrix? In the Matrix, actually what happens in real life too, and you break social norms as well, we're persecuted. We're pursued. I even have a couple of comments already. I mean, geez, I'm 10 minutes into this, and I already have a few comments of somebody who wants to persecute me and tell me that I'm just plain wrong, that I'm breaking social norms, and that's my problem. And he doesn't want me to do it. Ms. Lewis says that's been her calling, to break social norms. I think that's awesome. What's interesting, at least to me, in rethinking all of this stuff about the Matrix, the rhetoric that's been thrown at me, once I finally, open my eyes to the Matrix, once I open my eyes to social norms, the rhetoric that's thrown at me and all of us in the transgender community, but I think I would even expand that out to the greater queer community, that rhetoric ends up as useless as the agents. Once Neo realizes that the rules, and I think this was really sort of the big thing that came to me, the rules are only what the agents have to play by. Rules don't apply. Rules never apply. Social norms don't apply except to those who choose to consider them rules. Right? I mean, if you have social norms and somebody says, well, you're not allowed to wear red shoes, and you go, oh, dang, maybe I shouldn't wear red shoes, and you put on red shoes, and the rest of the world goes, oh, what are you doing? Well, it turns out you didn't you didn't die there, did you? You're just wearing red shoes. Those were never a rule. It's only a rule if you accept that those rules exist, that they are rules. But social norms have never been that. Social norms are, I don't even want to call them guidelines. They're things that evolve. They're things that started off one way and have come to where they are now, but they never and will never be rules. They'll never be like objective guidelines by which you have to live. So I wonder, I mean, now having gone through this somewhat philosophical, dissertation, I wonder if my ex-wife saw all of this even then when she said, you need to see this film because this character is you. I suspect the answer is no. I don't know if she went through this same philosophical musing that I just did, but seeing the movie again ended up being so much more welcome than I thought. I really thought I wasn't going to enjoy it, and then when it turns out, my wife, because it was my wife who was going to watch it, I was like, ooh, yeah, I'd love to see this. Let's check that out. One of the things that occurred to me is that Every single one of us is a Neo. Every single one of us is not only capable of breaking the rules, social norms that is, but also capable of making new rules. We're all capable of manipulating our social environment, because that's what a social environment is. Each of us is a part of these social environments, and we get to change it at will. Every single one of us is a Neo. You may not be able to stop machines. I'm pretty confident I can't. Just, I was thinking about it. I was walking down the street and I'm like, can I stop a bus? Can I just go, no? And the bus went, And I went, okay. So that was a big no. Just glad to know that, sooner than later. It's good to know these things. But every single one of us is a Neo. And I think all of us, ultimately, now that I've gone through all of my stuff about the Matrix, hey, Chemo Shines, now that I've gone through this, I want to say that we should all be proud of our abilities to break the rules and to remake our social environment the way that we choose to do so. Be proud of that. Be strong. Break the rules, because they were never rules in the first place. There we go. Rethinking the Matrix. Hey, Lovey. Oh my gosh, I love that. Thank you, Chemo Shines. I hope that's right. Do you say Chemo Shines? Or is it Chemo Shines? I never knew. I always wanted to ask, but it's hard to do in, like in text. So now I'm doing it. All right. So anyway, that's what I had to say about the Matrix. I have no idea when Jasmine's going to join, so I'm just going to kind of, punt for a few minutes. I don't know. I just published a video. Not on this. Hey, Genevieve. I published a video not on all platforms, just on one platform, because my family's actually traveling to Atlanta this weekend. So we're leaving on Thursday. Actually, we're going to Atlanta for the Pride Festival. That's happening. I think it's like the 9th through the 10th, 11th, and 12th, I think, of this month. I don't really know. I can't count very well. So anyway, we're going down to that, and that's, hopefully it's going to be fun. But anyway, the way that we ended up deciding we're going to go to this Atlanta thing is that I met Ms. Lewis, who said, oh, you should come down. So this is why I'm heading to Atlanta this weekend, because of one kind of crazy, weird lady named Ms. Lewis. Kind of a freakish thing. I thought she was gonna. I published a video that's kind of like trash talking, but so far she hasn't said anything about it. So maybe she didn't see it, which is fine. I'm okay with her not seeing it. But if she did see it, I expected her to be throwing down. So still nothing either. I have the feeling what she's doing is sitting there like typing this big long message. I don't know. But, oh, look, here's somebody. Oh, Ricky. Oh, my gosh. Ricky. Philosophy is the end of Ricky's handle, so I'm going to just run with that. Thinking about philosophy, boy, I wish you'd been here maybe 20 minutes ago, because I was just talking through the Matrix thing. Oh, Jasmine. Oh, dang. You don't have the link? I'm not sure how to get it to you. I can see. Let me see if I can get it. So Jasmine just put a thing down there in the comments. I don't know if you saw it, but she's now asking how she can join. And the fun thing is, look at how great it is that I have technology. Give me a second, Jet. Oh, wait, you're right there. But I'm not hearing you for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, I didn't turn my headset on. One of the main reasons. We'll see if I hear you soon. Ooh, now I'm hearing you. All right. It totally was. Why am I have something else. Ooh, that's what that is. Okay, sorry. I was hearing an echo. So okay, everybody. Now I'm going to bring Jasmine on. Are you ready? Do you want to come in now, or? Okay.
All right. Sorry, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Here we are.
Right? Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely and talented Jasmine Vine.
Hello,
How are you
hello.
doing?
I'm good. I, you know that I slept in a bunch. I don't know if you said it on the live stream.
No. No. Well,
No,
because it's Australia
just had a
time.
time zone shift, and I got times mixed up. Yeah, I'm just gonna pop my headphones in so I don't have
Okay.
an echo.
Perfect.
How do I make sure there's? Oh, there we go.
I
But I was
think.
listening. I've been listening on my phone while I've been
Oh, did
getting
you?
my crumpets with Vegemite because I'm Australian. Yeah,
You
and
sure
yeah, really.
are. Crumpets and Vegemite? Is that what I just heard?
Yes. Well, one's got Vegemite, the other's got Promite. Mm,
Wait, what's
it's
the difference?
delicious.
What is that?
You don't know what Promite is either?
No, no Vegemite. I know because it was in the song by Men Without Hats. Not Men Without
Well, yeah.
Hats. Men at Work. Yeah. What's Promite? Is that what you called it?
Promite is quite similar to Vegemite, but doesn't have as much of a punch to it. It's a little bit more mild and slightly different flavour. It's delicious. I love Promite.
All right. I'm gonna tell you, never tried it. Never tried it. So
It's very
what
nice.
what have you been up to? Did you watch The Matrix? Have you seen it?
Yes, I watched it for the first time after transitioning about 3 years ago. After I heard that it was like a trans allegory and that some
Right.
of the people involved in making it, like the red pill, is actually supposed to symbolize estrogen, yada yada. And after watching it again, I was like, oh my gosh, there are so many trans Easter eggs in here that I did not see. So it's quite funny that it's what conservative people often use as
I
their
I
talking point.
know. I think it's funny,
Hilarious.
right? Because they say that the red pill is it the red pill people? I'm trying to remember now, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Be the red pill person. Like, well, actually, we're technically the red pill people. Oh god,
right.
gonna have some
But I'm
estrogen.
fine. Like if that's what Donald Trump wants to how he wants to put it, I think that's great. I would
Don't
love
think
to
he's
see
done it, but yeah,
Hi
it'll be
Kim
fine.
Doltz. I'm not sure if I know the. I don't know if I know Kim Doltz, but she just showed up in the comments there, so that's fun. What all Easter eggs did you see? Because I got to tell you, I only noticed. I mean, there are a few things that I see in terms of social norms and breaking all the rules.
Hmm.
But what were the other ones you saw, or what were the other things you saw?
Well, even right at the end where they zoom into like the binary thing, it has, I forget what the wording is, but what does it say? Like go outside of the binary or break the binary or something, and then zooms in through it. And it zooms into the M and the F.
Oh, I don't think I noticed that. Oh my gosh,
Yeah. Yeah, there's all the
I'll
zero
have to
one
check
zero
that out.
one. Oh my gosh,
Yes,
it's interesting.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Hi, Julia
Yes.
B. Julia B just came in. I don't know who Julia B is either, but I'm so happy that you're here. I don't
Is this
know.
a lesbian chat?
It sure is. Actually, I don't know, Jasmine. I'm not sure what. I don't
Well,
want to
no,
speak
I've
for
got a
you, but
boyfriend, so I can't call myself a lesbian.
that's fine. I'm married to a woman. Ooh, actually, here's a question. This was something I don't know how this came up recently, but somebody asked me, oh, are you a lesbian? And I was like, well, I've been with men, right?
Hmm.
And I guess my point here is to say that after I transitioned, like I actually moved away from men more than before, and I recognized, you transition kind of young. So maybe you didn't
Hmm.
have a lot of experience before 16. In fact, a part of me goes, I hope you didn't have too much
Actually, I
experience
did.
before 15, 16.
Actually,
Okay.
I did. Yes, that was part of my journey, actually, was Gosh, I lost my virginity when I was 13.
Wait, what?
Mm,
Holy cats. Oh,
I
Julia
know.
says she's both. Does that mean
Mm.
bisexual, Julia, or does that both genders? Because I'm going to tell you, Jasmine, I didn't lose my virginity. I think I was 20.
Mm. Yeah.
It's not very cool. Really? That's the only response you've got? Hmm.
Social
Yep.
norms.
Yeah.
We're talking about
No,
social norms.
I was nerdy. That's the main thing.
Mm.
Super nerdy.
I
Nobody
don't know
wanted to be
what
with
the
me.
heck I was. I was definitely a little bit on the nerdy side, but I don't know what the hell happened. But you know what? A lot of it was wanting approval. Like if I was
Mm.
found sexually attractive by guys, then I was somehow feminine enough or I was, you know, pretty enough or whatever. And it was a very bad way of getting that validation. Oh gosh, there's more layers to it too, but a very negative way of getting that validation. Hmm.
Negative? I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I don't wholly disagree. Because
Mm.
for what it's worth, having lost my virginity at 20, I was like, wow, I'm completely worthless. So, I mean, I took that as validation as well. You're
Mm.
giving me a look like, don't you think that now? Well, yeah, but, I've lost my virginity. So,
That's not
it
what I
was
was
just,
giving you the look
it
about.
was,
Goodness gracious.
no, I doubted it. But actually, so Genevieve says same with her that she's gone more toward women than men since transition.
Mm.
I find that interesting. Julie is a free person, so there you go. She says all of it. So you're pansexual. That's awesome. I like that. I am pansexual as well. I had to change. I can't remember if I think I told you this once, Jasmine. When I was in graduate school, because I was like, oh, bisexual works, right? I like men, I like women. But there was somebody I knew who was in the process of transitioning that, I had like a little, I wouldn't even call it a fling. It was so short, it was more of like a fle. So it was not even a complete fling. So anyway, she was transgender, and I went, oh, well, I liked her. So I guess I must be pansexual. So that's cool. Oh no, Genevieve is saying she lost her virginity at 20. We are not the cool kids, Genevieve. Just so you know, we may not be the cool kids now either, and that's fine.
You know what's
Jasmine
great
is the cool
about,
kids.
well, I'm just glad that I wasn't born cis. Because if I was, I would absolutely have some kids by now. Not planned.
I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point. So I'm curious. So Julia says she feels she's missing out on the subject. So both of us, Julia, right now are both of us are. I said right now, like this is going to change. Like sometime in the future, we are not going to be transgender. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's going to happen. So the subject is just we're just talking about. Really, at this point, I don't know what the hell are we talking about.
Well, we really just, it's a bit of an ask me anything, transgender topics, connect.
Sure, sure.
Um, but the
I,
biggest topic so far seems to have been the social norms and breaking social norms. And there's something that I wanted to say on that actually.
ooh, let's hear it.
A business coach of mine always liked to use this analogy where when you are the minority in a situation, it's almost like a pack of horses. If you are a unicorn in a pack of horses and you're looking around like none of these horses get me, like they're not the same as me, what's going on? And then you try to behave in the way that feels most authentic to you, then those other horses are going to start implementing social correction techniques So
Yes.
they're going to start snarling at you. They're going to start like kicking the ground a little bit and be like, oi, get in line, get in line. You know, don't wear those red shoes. You were saying before. But they're saying that that's not what we do here. That's not how we behave in this circle. And
Right.
then if you continue to do that, if you continue to behave as yourself, then they start amping it up a little bit. They might start to kick you. They might start to bite you and be like, oi, told you, I'm not going to tell you again. You're stepping out of bounds here. This is not how we behave. And so the choice at that point is either you conceal yourself to blend into that herd, or you go and find a new herd. You go across the pastures and you go, okay, this is like a dangerous thing for me to do. I'm scared. I don't know if I'm going to find, greener grass. But then they might find a herd that actually aligns with them and go, oh, this is the norm here. Oh, great. And that's what we do when we find community. That's what we
Yes.
do when we find people that match with our own values, our own beliefs, our own, all of those things. I've got some lovely comments of some people doing some course correction now. See, social
Yes.
correction things, that's exactly what it is.
Isn't it? I don't
Yeah, it's
know
just
why
interesting.
some people need to be like that. It's kind of a strange
Oh, we
thing.
do. We do. And we can unpick it till the cows come home, but does it really matter?
No, no. What's fascinating? So Julia B. I'm not. Are you watching the comment? I mean, you must be. Sorry. So Julia ends up giving it like a sad face. I think because I said we're both transgender, and so I will tell you this, Julia coming in. If you were like, "Hey, must be a lesbian chat," like, thanks. I don't know if we could have had any better compliments. I know for my own purposes,
Wait, it's Lesbian Day of Visibility today, isn't it? International Lesbian Day. Well, for me it
Is
is.
it? I don't
For you,
know.
that's probably tomorrow, because America. But yeah, it
I
is.
I don't know. Did I don't know something about? I'm not sure what this says, but something about muffins. Says they like human rights. Totally. Are you for reals? We all like human rights. I think that's the way to do it. So
I'm not sure what Julia means, because you
that
need
we
to
have to
make
make
cash,
cash.
that's the point.
I don't know.
What is that in response to? I'm not
I
entirely
wish I
sure.
knew. Yeah. An interesting tidbit, though. I mean, while I certainly am not going to turn down cash, doing these lives is not the way to make it. It
Oh,
is not
God.
now, nor will it ever be. That's the way to make a lot of cash.
And then you slip into the advert, or do the halfway advert. Here's my Cash App. No, just kidding.
Right.
Oh,
You can
gosh.
find me
Well, you
pound
know what?
Amethysta Herrick on whatever those apps are. What? Go ahead. Sorry.
Lives definitely can be a great way to make money if you're doing, because I was just thinking of Mercury Stardust, how she does those lives to get a lot of donations for trans
Oh yeah.
healthcare. It's amazing. Absolutely love it. Mm.
Well, so the yeah, you certainly can make cash, but here's the thing. So you have to be popular, like Mercury Stardust.
Oh gosh.
And so this
Yeah.
is why we're not making a lot of cash. I do this. I mean, then Julia says if she doesn't want to, if she doesn't have to pay for watching us, she doesn't want it. Oh,
Oh my god. I actually love that though. I mean, I don't know what exactly the comment's supposed to get at, but there's that old adage of people who pay attention.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Right. You're in high school. Nobody pays attention in high school. You go to college. You're like, oh, this is my money. I'd better not screw
Mm-hmm.
around. So
Yeah. That's a thing.
Muffins is throwing out something that I believe is not at all a controversial opinion. Xenophobia is bad. So xenophobia,
Maybe it
the
is a
fear.
controversial opinion in modern day America.
Okay, good point.
No.
Xenophobia, which I believe is technically fear of the unknown, I believe is what it is. Is fear of the unknown or fear of things we don't understand. I think more literally, but so there you go. Um, so there's a Trippy Frog has actually asked a good question. And Julia, I do see what you're saying. So Julia is saying people only want the stuff that they have to pay for. Yeah, oftentimes I think so. Hi, Jesse, by the way, who joined. I think that's true. And we can actually roll that into the same question from Trippy Frog. I'm going to pop it up if you don't mind. Hey, look, it doesn't even go over my face. I mean, it's almost like I knew what I was doing when I was laying this thing up, or laying this thing out. Any tips for gender dysphoria? You started saying some. Do you want Julia saying I need to be more confident? Yes, more yes, by saying I'm not popular. Good point. I'm self-fulfilling a prophecy. Thank you for that, Julia. I appreciate that. But Jasmine, you started talking about this with the unicorn analogy. Your point was ultimately we need to find our tribe, right?
Well, yeah. And that's a big part of it. When you feel like you're on the outside of the majority, it causes discomfort.
Yeah.
And that's, dysphoria can be broadly lumped into that category because
Right.
based on the gender that I innately feel versus how I look, prior to transition, then I feel like I'm lumped on the outside. And so that can cause a lot of social dysphoria. There's different types of dysphoria. But you think of it in terms of like, oh, there's so many ways people conceptualize it. The mind, body, spirit model, or the whole,
Right.
physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. People will lump it into those types of categories. And it's true. Some people will have very physical dysphoria. Some people will have more social dysphoria, where it's more about how people respond to them or how they are perceived in society. And then there might be more mental dysphoria, which is more about the thoughts, the beliefs that one might have about themselves. And then more emotionally, it might be around, you know, stored negative emotions from the past. Like if there's been situations where you maybe played around in a costume box or whatever and you were living your best life, you're like, oh, this is fantastic, having a great time. And then dad
Yeah.
walks into the room and goes,
Oi, boys don't wear that. Some
blah, 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 that you have a negative experience,
Sure.
then that can cause some emotional dysphoria that can have a lingering effect over your life as well. So there's a bunch of different levels and ways that dysphoria comes about, and there's different ways of approaching them depending on where it comes from.
That's a
But for
good
the
point.
most part, affirming your gender, basically going with whatever feels the most comfortable and aligned for you, that's the main antidote against dysphoria, in my opinion, and community.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? What say you, Amethysta?
I'm, you know, I agree with everything you're saying there. By the way, there were jokes I had to make about the unicorn and the pack of horses bit, but I'm gonna let him go for now.
I'll
I,
do it.
I have no idea what uncreative process is trying to do here, but it certainly is not certainly is not creative.
Oh,
So
what's
there's
him?
a few oh, I mean, so here we've got something. Why do you like cosmetics? It's an industry reliant on child slavery. There's also stay to my daughter's bathroom. I'm not really sure what that means.
But the assumption is that we're using cosmetics and whatnot. Do you see any makeup on my face? Hello. Do you
So,
see any
so I
surgery?
do.
There's no surgery here. Like, Chill.
I do have some. I mean, I have some makeup on, but certainly not much. So I do. So in talking through dysphoria, so there's a few things I want to bring up because here's something. So I'm going to just say Talic. Hopefully that's the way that's pronounced. Trans people are pretty cool. I think so. And so Trippy Frog, like this already is a form of social acceptance. Because if you look at Talic, here's another one, says that they're new. But if you find people that you resonate with, it is comforting. So Talic is non-binary, has a trans boyfriend. Like, that's great. I think that's awesome. So, I mean, as far as tips on gender dysphoria, like when I was younger, I mean, and oh, hey, Vesper. Vesper just joined. Vesper's brand new. Vesper and I just connected like in the last few days. When I first started thinking about transitioning, and so I was 52 at the time. This was only a few years ago. Although I had really leaned into femininity a long time ago, you know, when I was in my 20s in graduate school, what I started when I was 52, I was kind of unsure of how things were going to turn out. And all I did, and I forget it was Trippy Frog. The first thing I did, it was like January of 2022, I put on toenail polish. And that was it. Toenail polish. And it wasn't much. Ooh, I see Emerson Fox too. Hi, Emerson Fox. I put on toenail polish and, you know, I was working from home, right? So I wasn't wearing shoes because I certainly won't put on shoes to come downstairs. So when I was working, I could just every so often, if I felt bad, I could like look at my foot and go, I have affirmed myself. And it was so small, but it was hugely comforting. You know, even just something as small as that. You know, asking somebody to call you a different name. Trippy Frog, maybe, you know, choose something that might, you know, affirm you more one way or another. But so those are things. I mean, I stand with you, Jasmine. The best thing. So Emerson also says nail polish was one of the first things she started with too. I mean, when I was an undergraduate, so I was a teenager. I feel like I've told this story before. I think it was real that I got like pass out drunk at a party and somebody put red toenail polish on my toes. I'm pretty sure that really happened. Pretty sure. But then I kept it going for like the next 3 years. And I always wore sandals, right? Because I'm going to college in San Diego. Nobody's wearing shoes in San Diego. And so everywhere I went, people were like, what's the deal with a toenail polish? And so I kept using that story. And it's funny because now in my head, I'm like, was that ever true? Like, I'm pretty sure it's true, but I'm not entirely sure it's true. It could be I just put on toenail polish and then was like, oh, damn, I got to get to class. And I put on my sandals and went, whoops, I guess I should lean into this. So now I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's where it started. So, so Julia, thank you so much. Julia is now saying, you know, people should pay to see us debate. I don't know if Jasmine and I have ever strictly debated, but sure, no problem. Oh, here we go. So Trippy Frog. So we're now going to call you Emma. So thank you, Emma, for those comments. Those great. That was a great question. And I'm just going to show this because I wanted to go into the actual video that Julia thinks were awesome. So I like that. Thank you, Julia. Well, so when you started young, I know, Jasmine, but did you, like, what was the first thing that you did? Because I want to say you said you started, it was growing your hair out originally, right? Or did you wear makeup early on?
Yeah, the first thing for me was probably eyeliner and nail polish.
Sure.
Those two things. I was so scared about it. Don't at me. I stole it. I stole them from the shops because I was too scared to go to the counter and do that. But that was the first thing be gay, do crimes is what just came to my head. Goodness gracious. That was absolutely the
perfect.
first thing, and it would just be when I was, at home. I'd be messing around with little like marble nail polish things. You'd drip it into the water and call marble patterns. I would do that, and then I would put like eyeliner on, and I'd be like, this is lovely, and then I'd take it off and go to school.
Right.
But
You
yeah,
don't wear
you're right.
eyeliner
It's
now.
like such a small. No, not really. I'd love to get tattooed eyeliner just because
Oh,
I just
know.
can't be bothered with makeup nowadays. Such a pain.
What's hard? What's the problem?
Well, it means that I have to wash my face at night to get the makeup on. Because I have a
True.
rule, I'm not going to sleep with makeup on.
Yes.
And it just takes time that I don't want to spend. I can't be bothered.
Yeah. Yes, I hear you. I want to read it. I want to read a couple of comments that you can't see, by the way. Oh, good. So Talek says we pronounced their username perfectly. So good. So here, let me read a couple of comments. So I think I mentioned Emerson said nail polish was one of the first things she started with. Here is, first of all, I'm just going to tell you. So Garrett 22332, thank you so much. I wish I could pop this on the screen. But they say they learned so much from my lives. They would have loved to have had me as a professor in college. I only ever taught chemistry. So, I don't know. Thank you. That is so, I don't even know the word I want to say. It's very overwhelming when somebody, compliments me in that way. So thank you. Very, very heartfelt. I'll give you, a little heart and everything. So Vesper says, I actually think this might be somewhat common. So Vesper says she stole her sister's clothes and hid them in her drawers. It took her, presumably like a bureau cabinet type thing, not just put them in their underwear. No? Okay. But then it took her another 18 years to realize, yeah. But the thing was that I thought it was totally normal. Because I did the same. I took my sister's clothing, and I've actually told this to them now. And I think my sisters have kind of been like, yeah, that's fine. Maybe because it's been so many years, but who knows? Yeah, I think that's common. You didn't have, I think you have an older brother, did you tell me?
No, I've got no siblings.
Okay, I couldn't remember. But Vesper's, so this is the thing. So Vesper's thinking in her head, every boy wants to be a girl, right? Right? It sounds completely obvious to me. And then Emerson says when she first started with eyeshadow, I'm just going to read this. When I first started with eyeshadow, I looked like a walking mental health crisis.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all do. I want to ask you too, Jasmine, because I know you consult, you help people kind of go through this transition process. I mean, we both do, but what the hell was I going to ask you? Oh, yeah. I have had people say, well, how am I supposed to learn about clothes and makeup? Do you have an obvious answer to that? I mean, I do, but what's your answer when somebody asks you that?
It's a really tricky one. I think it depends on what life stage someone is in as well. And there's a lot of grief that can be wrapped up with it, especially if someone's, transitioning. Maybe they're in their 40s, maybe they're even in their 70s, and they're like, I have no idea how to dress myself in this way. I've spent decades dressing this way, and they don't have the time period where they're going through those periods of time where they look awful. The makeup makes them look like a mental health patient, and then they are wearing like those little mini skirts as like a little,
Right.
Yeah, they never wore like a tutu as a kid or whatever. So there's a bit of grief that's involved with that process. But figuring out how to actually, oh gosh, it's it depends on body type and stuff as well. I
Yeah,
actually have
yeah.
had, if I've got enough time to do it, there's a course in my brain that I want to put into the world about like feminizing makeup and feminizing clothing
Hmm.
tips and things like that, because there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. I used to
There
wear
are
a corset
some
all the
out there.
time with like a waist belt on top of the clothes that I was wearing. And I learnt about makeup very deeply. I'm like, okay, so anywhere there's like a shadow, so we want to bring this part forward and bring
Mm.
this and receive this. And so I learnt about contouring and highlighting a lot through that, different hairstyles and how they can accentuate or minimize certain features. All that. It's kind of just lost information that I don't really utilize nowadays. Hmm.
No, I let me read another couple of comments. Once, because
Mm.
I'll give you my point
Yeah,
too,
please do.
or my viewpoint. By the way, so Garrett says Ochem really haunted them. Yeah, same. Ochem was just not my thing. Ochem was my wife's thing, so I don't know.
Okay.
Organic chemistry, sorry. So
Oh, right.
carbon
For
based
us
chemistry.
laymen's out there, for us laymen's.
I apologize. Yeah, there may be somebody looking at that comment going, "What's Ochim?" No. So what was the other thing? So Emerson asks, "Well, transition consultants are a thing." I raw dogged my transition. I think that's very true. What I so I mean, I started pretty young, right? Oh, the other thing I wanted to pop up, just here, Jasmine, so you see. Julia says she'd love to collaborate with us. And Julia, if you're like totally on the level, like go to my website and send me an email because I will 100% collaborate with you. You have been so affirming and amazing. I would love to collaborate with you in any way whatsoever. Let me know. Oh yeah, sure. So tips on hair and makeup. So I learned some of these things pretty young, just because I had three sisters, and that was what was going on in the
Ah.
house when they were going through their own puberty. And I'm third out of four. So I had my two older sisters who went through all of this, and I got to learn some of it like firsthand. That being said, like when I started doing makeup, it was gothic makeup. So it was supposed to
Mm.
be pretty bold. How about if we say that? Supposed to be really heavy eyeliner, lots of shadow. You're using gray eyeshadow as blush, black lipstick. It's not intended to be subtle. But when I was not doing gothic makeup, I just sort of played around with things. I really truly just sort of love. I mean, I love makeup, and just screwing around with things. So like right now, probably can't really tell, and I'm looking like this I'm looking kind of dorky. But I saw somebody. I don't know if I bumped that. There was a person I watch on YouTube, and she had one video where she was really close up, and I'm like, oh, I see what she's doing with her eyes because she also has hooded eyes, like I do, which you don't, Jasmine. So there's a lot. But I was looking at because I think this person's beautiful. She's a cisgender woman. I'll just say her name is Lucy Darling. That's the character. Carissa Hendricks is her name. Follow her everywhere because she is hilarious. She's a magician and a comedian. Anyway, really super funny. If I could be anyone, it probably wouldn't be Lucy Darling, but I do recommend you go and find her. But I was looking at her eyeshadow, and I was like, oh, there we see. Talik even knows Lucy Darling, right? So, but I was looking at her eyeshadow and I went, huh, I see what she's doing. And so I played around with it. I did it badly. And here I am streaming with not great eyeshadow because ultimately all you can do is just play around with this stuff. There are a lot of
I
things that you
love
can
the
do.
style.
Yeah, oh my gosh, right?
So
There are so many things you can do with makeup that it's like, you could go and get surgery. Do you want to do the makeup all the time? Because there are a lot of things makeup can do. that being said, I'm going to tell you, when somebody is starting all of this, like, I recommend don't do it all at once, because it will be way too overwhelming. You know, if you're going to work on makeup, good, work on makeup for like a weekend. Play around with makeup for an entire weekend. And then the next weekend, assuming you have to, boy mode during the week or something. And if you don't, even better. But then the next weekend, play around with clothes. Do a little research. What is contouring and highlighting? How would you put eyeshadow on the shape of your eyes and the style of your eyelids? But you have to do all of these things. You have to try all of these things. I had a makeup artist. I worked with a makeup artist end of 2022, I think. It was like the end of 2022. And I got like 3 lessons from the guy. And what he gave me, because he's like, here are a bunch of things that you can buy makeup. And I ended up spending like $200 on makeup. And then he was like, well, we'll put it all on. We put it all on and I went, boy, I look like an old woman. The makeup made me look, well, so here's what he says, what styles do you like? And I'm like, oh, I liked Claudia Schiffer in the 80s. It's like the Bobby Brown look. I don't know if this is going to say anything to you, but like the Bobby Brown looks from like the 80s and 90s. And then when I put it on, I was like, oh, I look like I'm from the 80s and 90s, which makes me look old. Right? Well, but that's what I realized. And I'm like, what I need to do is just play around until I find what I want to do. Because, the guy taught me about contouring. There's ridiculous stuff you can do just with a little, what do you call that? Like a palette of contour. And then in some highlighter, you see it on every video from like a 12-year-old girl. She's got the dot on her nose. I can guarantee she's got a highlighter dot on her nose. But anyway, you have to play with all these things. Because I've tried that. The little highlighter dot on my nose, and I went, now I look like I'm 12. So I ended up with the amount of makeup I wear is like some primer, some color corrector, and like concealer under my eyes, some eyeliner, and now I've started wearing, the fake eyelashes because it's so much easier than doing mascara, like a lot easier. And that's it, and it's enough for me right now to go, well, I look the way I want to look. And sorry, it took me forever to get here. It's a long walk. But Grandma was home, because the point is that you need to please yourself, ultimately. Yeah. I don't think it's worthwhile, like, looking like somebody else's fashion plate, personally. I think you need to... See, Julia says she wears no makeup. Good on you. I think that's good. Because that's how Julia feels comfortable. And I love that idea.
You know what? I actually really like makeup. I just can't be bothered. Because what happens, inevitably, I'll get in front of the mirror and I go, I'm just going to do a cute no makeup look. I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows a little bit, put on some mascara, maybe a little bit of lip balm. And then when I'm there, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to line the lips a little bit. And then I'm like, this would look really good with this liner. And then I'm like, I'm just going to put this shadow. And then I end up with like some creation. Like, that's what always happens to me. I'm like,
right.
Sakes.
Next thing you know, you've got the highlighter dot on your nose, and
Yep. I love the highlighter dot on the nose. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, well, now I've got all this going on, so I'm going to have to contour my nose properly. So, yep, the highlighter dot.
Right. Right. It doesn't end. Well, and I think that's why I'm like, listen, what is the minimum that I can do that's going to make me feel good about the way I look? And so Vesper has mentioned, by the way, and unfortunately you can't see these comments, but Vesper says she went to a makeup workshop, got walked through step by step. Well, then she says now she could replicate it. I think that's great. The thing is that you end up doing somebody else's look. And one of the things that is great about like supermodel type people is that there are really obvious styles. Like you can point out Bobbi Brown all over the place in the 80s and 90s. I mean, once you recognize what she did with the smoky eyes, and never mind. Point is that you could pick those people out. But that was Bobbi Brown making somebody look like she wanted them to look. And so I still will say you're going to have to like play around with it. And it's the same with clothes. You know, I was telling somebody, who the hell was this? I was telling somebody yesterday, because I have this awesome purple dress. And I think I bought the purple dress before my hair was like this purple, like, it, you know, before it was kind of like a lavender, like a really light purple, because it was wash over silver, which, by the way, I realized silver hair, because I thought this is going to be so cool. All the 20-year-olds are doing it, right? Well, when you're 52 and you get your hair looking silver, you look like you're 52. You decide to look like an old lady. And, well, crap, I got to do some. So I put some purple on. But this purple dress was awesome. And then my hair, you know, got my hair this purple. And then I put that on. I was like, this looks terrible. So it changes too. Like it's not something that, you know, you figure out once. Hair or makeup or clothing, as your style changes, as it evolves, you end up throwing parts out anyway. I wouldn't bother contouring now. I can't, because now this is my style. So
Okay.
anyway, that was the end of that.
I just like playing around.
Yeah. I'm curious what this means. I'm curious where those tattoos are going. Genevieve. You could just send them privately. It's okay.
Oh dear.
I don't know. I want to bring this one up. What is your opinion on this? I'm going to wait. You answer first.
It depends. If you're asking someone, like if you came and asked me about feminizing, contouring, and highlighting things, I would be able to tell you a lot more than most cis women would be able to. But if you went and asked someone who's only just getting into makeup themselves, then you're going to get, you know, less helpful advice, most likely. So I think that really depends.
I agree. I think that what I would add to that is that for the most part, people, transgender women in particular, the thing is to, like, we do this on, you know, I should probably say what I was going to say. Transgender women have the tendency to go, if I do not 100% pass in 100% of every part of society, I have failed. And I would say, no, not at all. Not at all. And so if you go to another transgender woman, in my opinion, you might get that opinion that you better pass or else. I think there's a good reason that we feel this way. All you have to do is look around the United States and it's like, well, it's kind of dangerous, you know. So I get it. But why I would hesitate to look necessarily for transgender women to get hair and makeup tips is because oftentimes I think what we're trying to do is go too far. And what was the pink haze? Do you remember that phrase, the pink haze?
Yes.
Okay.
But
So I'll explain it. But yeah. So the pink haze, oftentimes you get somebody who starts, she goes, I am going to transition gender, and it's awesome. I'm going to transition gender, and then everything is pink. Yeah, like pink toothbrush, pink wallet, pink purse, pink shoes, pink underwear, pink, what else? Give me something.
Everything.
Pink laptop thing, everything is pink. Because you go here. You wait, what?
I've never moved out of pink haze.
Oh gosh. it's okay. But see, you're not. The thing is, you don't have pink hair, pink glasses, pink glasses frames, pink fingernails, and
But it's
everything.
not just that. It doesn't stop at that. When you ask trans people who are really obsessed with passing, they will tell you lip fillers, Botox, go and get this and that and
Right,
this and
right,
that,
right, right,
facial reconstruction surgery, you need this and this. It just, the list goes on and on and on.
right,
So you
right.
have to have discernment and not just go with it because everyone else says you should.
Yes. And that's the so the pink haze is all about I've been on one side of the pendulum and I am going to swing it so hard to the other side. I think it's okay to be into pink. Jasmine's into pink. I've got a couple of things that are pink. Pink looks terrible now with purple. Just so, although you
Yeah,
will
it
notice, I mean, oh, what's that?
doesn't really match that well. Oh, depends on the hue.
It does. I mean, like my website's all pink and purple.
There
So
you go.
pink is fine, but well, not really pink anymore. Now it's more of a fuchsia. But it, I think it's great to immerse yourself in everything that's girly. The thing is, sometimes you end up immersing yourself so much that you do cause people to look at you twice. And like the way that by the way, I want to say hi to Miranda. Hi, Miranda. The way that I define passing, and tell me if you disagree, Jasmine. By the way, Julia, I see your comment, and we'll go more toward it. The way that I define passing is that when you're out in public, you don't get that second look. I think that's about it. You get somebody who looks at you and just goes, "Woman, done." They don't go, I think that's about it. And if you have a whole ton of pink, I think a lot of people go, "Holy cats, that's a lot of pink." And then you get that second look. And so I think it singles you out, possibly. So that was my point. Do you disagree?
No, it definitely can, but I think it's more so the energy behind it that will fuel that as well. Because there's lots of people who will do that and they'll come across quite eccentric, but they'll still pass.
True.
And that's,
True.
You'll often be under more scrutiny if you stand out.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know. There's levels there.
Agreed. This, by the way, here's something Julia said, and then I'm going to pop up the other one. When Jasmine, the first time we met, we talked for like 3 hours or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think we both missed a meeting for that matter, if I remember correctly.
Something like that.
We do sort of jive pretty well.
Yeah.
I wanted, before we get to you, Julie, I do want to bring this up because Puppy Girl put this up 5 minutes ago. What I want to say, so I think all of us feels ugly. All of us feel ugly. Somehow I ended up with noun and verb mismatching there. I think all of us feel ugly at least at one point. And what I want to say is that I believe very strongly that authenticity is beautiful.
You know what? I want to say as well that passing and ugly, like those are two completely different things.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
plenty of people who others would describe as ugly who pass completely. So,
Yeah.
like, those are totally different concepts. So, please don't conflate them and think that they're the same thing because they're really not. Often people will get that perception because they see all the passing pretty people on Instagram and they go, "Oh, well, that's what passing means." It's like, no, you don't need to look
Right.
like a freaking Victoria's Secret model to pass.
Right. Right.
Oh gosh.
When I first started transition, by the way, my the very first like sort of transgender mentor, I suppose I would call her, she said, you know, you're fortunate to a certain extent to be transitioning so late in life. And I believe that was her exact words. And I'm like, so late in life? I'm only 50. What, 52? Jesus. Someone out like dying tomorrow. What's going on? But she says you're fortunate in a way because there are fewer social norms. When you're in your 50s, you know, if somebody goes, oh, you look a little funky, people look the other way much more. You know, if you look like you have makeup from the 80s or 90s, it's more acceptable. So it causes less surprise. Maybe I should say that. Causes fewer people to go, well, that's weird. So
It's so true. People will even expect like a bit of a huskier voice with like an older woman.
right.
They'll
Yes.
expect like weight distribution to be a bit different. Someone might be a little bit more
Yeah.
gaunt in the face and have more like bony features or whatever. And
Yeah.
they'll go, oh, it's just an older woman. It's very true. I don't think
It
that really
helps.
applies at 52, but you know,
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
mean, it
I
was
kind
nice
of,
to hear.
yeah. I mean, I would consider that to be maybe around like 70. That would start to be a bit more, I don't know. I
I
guess it's a
guess. I
sliding
guess.
scale.
Yeah. Get to 50, and then you'll be like, oh, look at how I've changed. All right.
Oh, dear.
So here we go. Here was the thing that Julia put up. It's been a while now. So freedom in style and freedom of in expression. Because go ahead. Because I'm gonna let me look through some comments. Do you have any thoughts? Any thoughts on that?
I wanted to touch on freedom in general because that wasn't the first time Julia mentioned freedom. She also said, I'm here mainly to promote freedom. It's the main feeling that
Yeah.
drives everything.
Yeah.
And before that as well, I would just promote freedom. That's all people actually want. I think that's a really, really interesting topic because freedom is one of those top of the pinnacle type feelings that someone wants to have. And it
Right.
is a feeling. I would say that freedom is a feeling in a lot of ways, even though we might conflate it with monetary freedom or this, that, the
Sure.
other. But I don't really have a context for this. It's just that it highlights to me that humans in general all want the same things. And there's actually studies that show, I was listening to this on a podcast the other day. I'd very much recommend people listen to it actually, because there's so much hate and division, especially in the US political world right now. The Mel Robbins podcast, oh my gosh, who was it with? Let me just have a look see here. This one research study will change how you think about your entire life. Who was it with? Dr. Todd Rose. So good. So he spoke about a study where when people are polled on the things that actually matter as humans, 80% of people agree on those core things. It was like the core 18 things, I think, people all agreed on. And then it's the things that people don't actually really care about that cause all the division. So right now, the situation in the US with the whole government shutdown and, oh, it's crazy. They want transgender for everybody, blah blah, like all of that stuff
Right.
happening. I'm honestly like trying to ignore it at this point because I'm just over it. But and yes, thank you, Julia. Let's not get political. Don't want to go there. The point is though that in all of the polls, it actually shows that we agree on a vast majority of things.
Oh yeah.
And freedom is one of those things. And I know we've spoken about this, I think, on the Harmony and Humanity podcast when we were doing that I believe in our underlying humanity no matter what. If I was trapped in a burning building and there was a hardcore, like, MAGA person there who hates trans people, I'm reasonably confident that they would try and help me out of that building because at
Agreed.
that point, humanity takes over. We're all in it together. There's like this happens when there's big disasters and stuff. People band together. And the divisive stuff doesn't actually matter when we strip it back to those core things. Not only does it not matter, this is another interesting thing from that podcast. My gosh, it was blowing my mind. People believe that the loudest voice is the majority.
Yeah.
On an evolutionary standpoint, whoever sounds the loudest, we take it as though that's the majority. And then as like a social correction thing as well, we want to fit in with the majority, because when we're with the majority, we're safe. If we're on the outsides or we're with the minority, then we're easy pickings, we're targets. So what they were saying is that a lot of people who will even advocate for anti-trans things or things like that, they don't actually even believe it. Like, they actually
Sure.
don't believe it themselves. They're just parroting what they think the majority believe. And then
Yeah.
once they start fitting in with that, they get to this point where it's like they're spouting all these things. They don't even believe it. This is where we get priests spouting anti-homosexuality, yada, yada, and they're gay themselves. Like, this is where we get things like that.
Right.
And then they get so caught up in that lie or that facade that it's now difficult to switch that around, because
Right.
one of our things psychologically is we want to remain consistent with what we believe about ourselves. We want to keep our identities consistent. So once we publicly claim this is the thing, it's hard to break that and go back on that.
Yeah.
So, oh gosh, this was just so interesting. I absolutely love this. But for anyone who's worried, thinking, oh, the majority of people don't want me to have rights or don't think I should exist or blah, 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 just know that a lot of those people are just scared people who all want freedom. They all want love. They all want care. And they just want to fit in as well. They're doing what
Right.
they think helps them fit in because it makes them feel safe and comfortable and secure.
Agreed.
So it doesn't necessarily mean, like, vast majority, they don't even actually freaking believe it. So we'll leave it at that.
Just to tag on to that a little tiny bit, I believe most of the time when people have to use a loud voice, it's because they don't really believe what they are saying. They're trying to convince themselves as much as the other people listening to them, and that's why they have to be so loud. That's at least been my experience. And it's funny because I got that actually from working in industry. You know, if you had somebody who goes, oh, well, we need to use a particular like software vendor, a lot of, I was in technology for a long time. Well, they'll go, oh, we need to do a particular software technology or whatever. And you go, what else do you know? And they're like, well, nothing. You go, well, that's why you're so loud about it, because you don't have any other thought around it. You don't know. And so that's one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of times the people who are so vocal about something have no idea, what they're talking about. And they want to convince themselves. As a matter of fact, I think they will, I don't want to use the word conflate because it's not exactly the word I want, but they'll associate your agreement with their loud voice with them being right. The more people who go, you must be right, then they go, oh yeah, am I? I mean, of course I am. Yeah, right. That's why I was so loud. So, you had said at the very beginning of this little bit here, I have a joke. So I've been waiting to use this joke. So let me.
Please.
Here it comes. Okay, ready? Because you had said, oh, you looked at this comment and you really didn't have context around it. And I was going to say, yeah, I mean, I live in the United States. I don't have any context for freedom either. So here
Oh,
is.
yikes.
Hey, I thought it was fun. So here is the comment. Hopefully, Talik, this is the one you meant. I love this. I love this thought. the reason why I wanted to, because I did want to pop this up, obviously we went off on a few tangents. What I want to say is wearing dresses and makeup as an AFAB person, those are social norms. Of course, break those rules. Like, who the hell cares, in my opinion? So where I was going to go with this is, you've also said you'd say you're a demi-girl, partly identify as a girl. I think what you maybe do, or at least if it comes down to dresses and makeup, you're identifying with social norms. And while I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because that is a lot of how we learn to fit in, I guess, as it were, I don't think that makes you who you are. Conforming to social norms doesn't make you who you are. Do you have thoughts on that, Jasmine?
I think that's just a full stop. Well, honestly, I mean, yeah.
There you go, then.
What makes you who you are is doing what feels most aligned for you.
Yes.
When I was transitioning, I didn't consider social norms much in my decisions at all. I was just like, well, this is what makes me feel good. I like having longer hair. I feel better with longer hair. I like wearing this particular jacket. It looks good on me. I like it. It feels good. And people will put their social norms on those things and go, oh, well, that means that they're a woman. That's not me saying that it's a woman's things or not, because those things change over time. They change in between cultures. What's socially acceptable as women or men, it shifts over time. Heels were originally for men because it made their calves look more muscular and
Right.
make them look
Taller,
taller, and that was
more
more
imposing.
masculine. Yeah. And then that shifted. Blue used to be a soft, delicate, feminine color, and now it's a strong, masculine color. It's just these things shift over time. So do whatever the frick makes you feel good and
Yes.
screw it, because nobody has to live your life. Just
Right.
do what feels best to you. That's
Right.
full stop.
And so now I want to do this one because it is so perfect as a follow up. Right. So Julia has this great face, getting everything she wanted, but she never wanted them back. Now, sorry, all of this in context. Julia says she stopped wearing makeup. She's got her hair in a ponytail. See, I was reading these, Julia, just so you know. And now they see her as she is. She's more respected and actually more wanted, by both genders. So I forget who it was. Puppy. It was a puppy. Forgive me. I forget the rest of your handle. It is authenticity. Authenticity is attractive. Authenticity is beautiful. So thank you, Julia. What a beautiful comment. So Trippy Frog, if you want to collab with us, no joke, just go to my website, send me an email. We will absolutely, I at the very least, will reach back out to you. Talik, hopefully I got your comment.
Trippy Frog as well. Trippy Frog is Emily. Emily?
Emma,
Oh,
right.
Emma.
Thank you. Well, see, so it's right here. So Emma asks, yeah, how can she
Oh,
collab?
I didn't see that. Right.
So here you go. We can do all of us. We can end up with we'll have Emma, we'll have Julia, we'll have Vesper, who just showed up in the other thing. Oh, hey, by the way, hey, Raiden. We can end up with like 60 different people in one spot. It'll be fun.
Can we put
let me see.
Angela's comment on the screen for a moment?
We can.
I like that.
This one?
People like to be liked, so they think and act the same as the people that they are with. It's very hard to be an individual. Definitely want to take a highlighter on that, because so many people feel like they're not being true to themselves because they like to be liked and they try to act and behave as others, whether it feels authentic to them or not. One of the hardest things that you can do, and one of the hardest things that trans people do, is go, actually, I don't want to conform to that. I want to do what makes me feel like me.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But yes, that's not just that's not just trans people either. There's a lot of people who feel like they're not an individual because they adhere to social norms that may or may not be
Right.
for them.
Right.
Thank you, Angela. That's an awesome comment.
Angela's super wise. I'm just gonna call that out right now. She'll drop like some pearl of wisdom that I'm like, ooh, you've lived a good life.
So good.
There's a couple here that I want to show, and I don't know if this is the same Vesper on both platforms. I'm kind of curious. But I think this is true. Most people, I mean, I've seen this. A lot of people will change their opinion when they meet somebody from a group that they previously at least thought that they hated. I know that you do this. I do this. I invite people to reach out to me. I'm like, sure, let's talk. I've had a guy I've been going back and forth with who's like, well, I know the science. And finally I asked the guy, I'm like, do you have a background? And the person goes, oh, well, now you just think I'm ignorant. And no, what I'm doing is you're telling me you know something, but can we just talk? Like, ultimately, I'm like, let's just talk. Because you can go back and forth. Emma just put something on my Calendly. Is that you, Emma? See? Usually I mute my notifications, but I left them up in case you sent me something saying, how do I get in?
Oh, there you go.
But I think it's super
Very cool.
important. I think if we invite people to say, listen, just come and talk to me. I think that would do so much. It's stunning to me. Most people don't take me up on it. They will be really angry with me and I'll go, yeah, wow, you are angry. I think we should talk about this. And they go, oh, all of a sudden they go quiet. And I'm like, damn, that's a shame. And I wonder, here's Vesper's follow-up. I wonder if they're afraid to stop othering. When they make that connection, they go, oh, am I going to have to change my beliefs? Am I going to have to change anything?
Well,
I think
guess
that turns
what?
into fear.
It does, because what's the secondary loss for them? If they change their thoughts and beliefs around that, what do they stand to lose?
They stand to lose an identity,
An
an
identity?
association. Yeah, it's you could build that up
community?
into a whole identity. Yeah.
They're around people who are being very abrasive and often aggressive towards these people. So imagine you're like, oh, actually, these people, maybe they're not all that horrible. What do they stand to get from that?
Yeah. Yes.
Now suddenly they're putting themselves in danger. That's one of the big reasons why we stay consistent with things that we may not even believe, is
Right.
because we could put ourselves in a lack of safety, we could lose community. There's all sorts
Yeah.
of things that could happen. So very, very good
It's
point.
dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yep.
Very dangerous. I want to pop this up just because it's such a good comment. It is the same Vesper. Thank you. And that was Emma who sent me a Calendly, a meeting request thing. I went through every so often, I have an Android phone, okay? I'm going to start with this. Have an Android phone, and then Google every so often just goes, oh, hey, remember this from 7 years ago? And I don't know, for like probably 2 years, I was like, nope, I don't want to remember that. I'm just getting rid of that notification. I finally, it was maybe a year and a half ago, I started really looking at them. Because now I'm kind of, first of all, I don't have a lot of pictures. I don't have a lot of selfies pre-transition. I mean, it's like 1 or 2 a year. The point I was going to go to, though, is that I started looking at those now because I'm like, look at that poor person. Look at that poor, unhappy person. And I feel compassion for myself. Whereas I wanted to forget that person ever existed. Now I see those photographs and I go, what a shame. What a shame that it took you so long to realize it's not important to make other people comfortable. And so, I mean, yeah, I look at all my selfies now and I'm always like, it's like, right, real
Mm.
smile, real joy. So
Oh
thank you,
gosh, I look
Vesper.
at old photos of myself like pre-transition and I just look dead behind the eyes.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's the picture of me. It kept coming up. I think maybe I must have looked at this once, but on July 7th, for like 3 years in a row, so 2023, 2024, 2025, Google said, hey, do you remember this? And it's a picture of me holding an estrogen patch and just looking like
Ah!
this. Because I'm
Yep.
so dead in the eyes. And I kind of look at it, the first time it came up, I was like, I'm not looking at that shit. It was ridiculous. And then finally I've started to be able to look at some of these and go, I can so see the pain. I mean, it's crazy that some people will drop into comment sections and go, you're clearly masking something. And I'm like, no, I stopped masking something. That's the point. So,
Yeah. Yep. Oh, we were talking about masking a little bit recently in messages.
oh, you and me, yeah, quite right.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that. My gosh.
It's
And
weird
you said that
too.
trans people understand on a deep level how masking can be exhausting
Oh my gosh, yeah.
because most trans people, at least, yeah, it's a very, very common story that I come across, is that it's transition or die.
Yeah,
That's one of the most common things that I hear. And it's because that masking over such a long period of time, it's just unsustainable. It gets to a point where you can't not transition.
right, right. I don't know that I quite hit the transition or die state. I certainly had reached a
Mm,
point where I didn't get, okay. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I had reached a point where I didn't want to live, but I didn't think
yeah.
about how I would fix that. And to me,
Mm,
gender transition was not going to be the answer.
mm,
I figured, well, I mean, I'm playing into the American dream. I'm figuring, we'll buy a bigger house, we'll get another car, get 2.5 dogs or whatever. I don't know what American families are supposed to have. I don't know how you
it's
have a
two and
half
a half
dog either, but
children and a dog.
whatever. It's the same thing, really.
I can't
Because by
believe the
that,
American dream, this whole like idea of the most upstanding American, you've got to cut a baby in half. That's just ridiculous.
I think it's
Kidding,
2.4
obviously.
as well. So it's even
Oh,
worse. So I think you could
goodness
just like get
gracious.
rid of arms and legs, and you go, I think that's about a 0.4. Not really sure.
Gosh.
It's a little more than half you got to get rid of.
Oh,
So,
dear.
so I want to pop this up. Oh, Julia almost lost us. Woo! I'm glad you made it back. Talik, I just want to say thank you. I don't know. I was going to look at the camera and say thank you so much for supporting your boyfriend. Half the time, well, I don't want to say half the time. I read a statistic that parents more parents are willing to support gender diverse children than otherwise. And I don't, then I hear other statistics and I go, ugh, was I wrong? Because that sucks if I was wrong. But if we don't support each other, oh, I think that ends up, this is why we got to support each other. By the way, I've brought, I've brought this up before. I'm curious. Oh, let me hide that one. Sorry. Do you, I don't know if I think we talked about this on a podcast. That's what it was.
Mhm.
Do you remember? Because at some point I know we talked about how it's weird how the transgender community, when you first get into it, people are like, oh, yeah, so good to have you here. Because you're not even close to, there's a couple of things like Vesper was saying, like, 200 pounds heavier, awful.
Mhm.
when when you're not anywhere close to like through transition, I feel like the for the most part you get the community is like, oh yeah, that's great, glad you're here because you make the rest of us look better. Maybe is what it is. I don't know. But then it seems like you reach this threshold point where like the transgender community starts to go, not sure if you're still one of us. And
Oh,
right? So do you remember talking about this now?
yeah.
Because I know you and I have had a couple of go arounds about, where people have said, do you really understand our plight anymore? Because you probably don't. You can go out
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry about, people tearing you up. I got no more water. So
Water. I
anyway,
don't even know her.
okay. But do you remember that? And
Yeah.
I don't know why did I get on that point? Oh, being supportive. Why did I hide that? I think it's weird that there are transgender women who will tear down other transgender women. Why would you do that? I don't see that. I mean anybody gender diverse going, well, that's a weird gender diverse person, or that's I don't like them, I don't like this. It's oh yeah, we're all under attack. I mean, jeez.
I think a lot of that just comes from insecurity. Like,
Yes.
even with the whole passport situation in America a little while ago, I saw
Right.
somebody posting about getting her passport removed, and it was Hunter Schafer. Or,
Yes. Right.
yeah. And the comments from other trans people on that, like, oh, see, even rich white passing transgender women are affected by this, but they were saying it in like an antagonistic way of like,
Sure.
oh, you thought the rules didn't apply to you because you're blah blah blah. Very interesting. So there's things like that which I think come from often just places of insecurity, and
Yeah.
jealousy can crop those sorts of things up. But honestly, I think trans masc people experience the brunt of it.
Really? Okay.
From the trans
S-
community,
Keep going.
I particularly if the trans masc person is someone who just identifies as a heterosexual dude, I think they are othered probably the most out of anyone else in the trans community that I have seen within the community.
Huh.
Because when they're early in transition, they're like romanticized in this really weird way. Like, oh,
Yes.
soft bean boy. Oh, like people will go, oh, yeah, so be yourself. So blah, 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 so cute. And then
Yeah.
they're transitioning for 10 years, and they just look like a hunky dude with a beard, and they're interested in women, and the trans community go, oh, I'm a little uncomfortable with you now. Oh, I don't really want to. I see that so much. And I think trans masc people, like I was talking to a friend about that a couple of months ago, where they were feeling really on the outs. Like they do drag artistry and everything, and they're showing up in drag, and everyone's like, oh, hey, how you doing? They're all connecting and everything. And then when they show
Sure.
up in their bloody in the sandals with their hairy chest and just looking like a dude, everyone's all like, ah, okay. But they're uncomfortable around them.
I, do you think
It's interesting.
this is a I'm spitballing here. Do you think it's because for the most part transgender women are held down by cisgender men, and so it looks like you've joined, as it were, you've joined the enemy. I don't know how to put that, but you've joined the other side, and now all of a sudden we can't trust you because you've got a beard and what did you say, hunky with hair on your chest and sandals?
Yeah, beer in hand. No.
Not exactly how I would have characterized it, but
Well, that's yeah, I think that's
I
definitely a
wonder.
big part of it,
Yeah.
because when it comes to, let's talk about patriarchy for a second. When it comes to that, I think a lot of trans people kind of unite under that, and trans women will unite under it because all of a sudden we're subject to it. It's like,
Right,
oh, this is what
right.
mansplaining is. Or like, oh, this is what do you mean catcalled feels like. Oh, interesting. And so we're subject to it. And then when somebody, well, like you said, like joins the other side, or they just look like some dude, then there's almost this like this underlying worry there. Can't feel like fully
Yes,
comfortable because
right,
they're like,
right.
oh, they now like remind me of my oppressors, pretty much.
Yes. Oh, I think that's part of it. Which
Mm.
is funny because I mean, when I transitioned, there were two, so I had basically three friends. I don't make friends easily.
What?
No, I know. Well, I make a lot of acquaintances. This has been my whole life. I make a lot of acquaintances, which is part of why I treasure our connections so much because I don't get this a lot. But I had three friends basically when I started transition. One of them, said fuck off, and I was like, that's fine. I'm not gonna like force you to stick around. But I would say but he didn't really say that. Like I'm paraphrasing. Instead, he said,
Mm.
my God is going to come after you and he's going to condemn you to hell because you're an idiot, essentially. And I went, okay, I mean, that's fuck off. That's fine.
Mm.
But my other two cisgender man friends, like I have a better relationship with them now. I have a closer relationship with them now. One of them I got coffee with the other day, just over the weekend. And we were talking about that, just how fascinating that my transitioning gender really changed like the way that we relate to each other in a good way. I found that fascinating that, I made a better friend who's a man after transitioning. But I want to pop something up. I'm not stifling this conversation. I want to pop this up because I don't know. So Talik says there is a trans artist on here, presumably YouTube, which is where this comment's coming from, named Cole Hairless Cat, who implements his pre-transition self into his art. I don't know anything about this person, but I wanted to pop it up because you mentioned it, Talik. I didn't want that to go, to be lost in translation. Lost because the comments aren't showing. I also want to say hi to Matt, who showed up. Hey, Matt, how are you doing? There was another thing. What do you want to talk about while I'm looking at comments?
Wow,
There's,
while I'm looking at that, I saw Julia put, oh, with a bit of a sad face, things just got real. Yeah, it's really sad that even within the trans community, there is that othering that happens. And I think it was Talik that said a lot of infighting, especially as trans straight men, they've joined the enemy in quotations.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's very sad. And I think if we all connected on those baseline human things, like what Julia was saying about the freedom piece, if we all connected on that, I think we'd be much happier as a species.
oh my gosh, yeah, so much.
Mm.
Vesper makes an interesting point. Since we were talking about
Mm.
masking too, am I really that far? But I'm 10 minutes behind. This is saying this is a 9 minute old comment. It's always fascinating how I end up doing one of these, and I'm like, this is like 27 minutes. Are you even still here asking this question? So before I say a thing, so Vespera says there's a huge overlap in I like to use the word neurodiverse, divergent, and so neurodivergent and gender nonconforming says to me that there should be a gender to which you should conform, and a neuro basis from which you should not diverge. Anyway, so I'm only paraphrasing. Not your fault, Vesper. My semantic, goofiness. Do you think do you perceive a huge overlap in neurodiverse people and gender diverse people?
Yes,
Why?
absolutely.
Do you have an idea?
Well, honestly, one of the core things with, let's say, autism, for example, is not understanding or adhering to social norms. So I think there's a lot of people who are autistic who are like, huh? No, this is how I feel, right? And like, screw
Yeah,
everybody else, but they don't really understand the social norm or that they should conform to it. And
right.
so they don't. I think that's a big part of it. Have you seen this?
Yes. Sorry, I got this question actually on Sunday when I did a live. And I realized you weren't there. And I ended up going into the whole thing because I think I actually sent you the article I wrote about it
Oh,
ultimately. Because I got quoted in the Daily Mail. Well,
yeah, right.
not in a positive way. I mean, can you be quoted in the Daily Mail in a positive way? Who knows? But I was the top, I was the first person who was quoted, and it ended up just being like a foil for the rest of the other ones who said because
Oh,
I believe there is, I wouldn't call it an overlap. I think what you pointed
mm,
out that neurodiverse people generally are either unaware or unwilling to perceive social norms.
mm,
So unaware of the social norms, or unwilling just to go, oh, okay, I'm going to respect that. And gender diverse people have no choice but to do that. And
mm,
so I think it's the same. I think it looks the same, but it comes from two different places. One is a lack of awareness or lack of respect for a social norm, and one is a purposeful, I am going to reject this social norm because I am gender diverse. So I think it's the same behavior, but from two
mm.
different places. And I think that shows up as I think it shows up as an overlap in this article. By the way, I said no, there is not. Basically, it comes down to social norms, and they had like a
Mm.
quote from me, made me feel really good. And then I started scrolling down because I'm like, wow, look at that, I'm going to be internet famous. And then they had people who said, oh yeah, well we have like the trans gene and the neurodiverse gene, and I'm like, really? And these are single genes. They seem to. I'm like, I'm not sure this is completely good science. And then somebody said, plus we have brain scans, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right. So you've lost me entirely. But anyway, they tried to really make it sciency. Like it's really sciency. And anyway, it was like a standard Daily Mail article
Right.
at the end of it.
Nothing
So
about
there you go.
humans is that black and white. If it was,
No, 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 no.
oh my gosh. Anyway.
I'm curious who this was. Because I'm going to tell you, I mean, admittedly, I talk about the transgender experience. I've written about it. I do podcasts, talk to people, talk on other people's podcasts. So, admittedly, I think I keep my fan. I do transgender joy videos. So, I feel like I kind of try to keep my finger on the pulse of things. I, I'm curious who could start feeling disconnect. I mean, I can think of a couple of people we might want to disconnect from the transgender community because they tend to backbite. But I'm not going to name any names. But it's her name starts with a B and then ends with Lair White. And anyway, do you?
I was going to say rhymes with what I just said, like backbite. Last name rhymes with bite.
There you go.
There you go.
Do you? I mean, do you? Have you
Yeah.
seen this? Have you seen somebody like actually feel disconnected from it? Because I don't know. Do
Me.
you really? Okay. I
Well,
just want to publicly apologize to Jasmine Vine and all people associated with Jasmine Vine.
oh my gosh. There are people who will basically do, gosh, I think about my wording here, but backbite will do that to themselves
Yes.
a lot of the time. But then for me, if I talk about my own experience, it was more about just feeling othered and on the outside
Yeah.
because I got to the
Oh.
point where I was in stealth for a fair few years. Like, I wasn't out as trans to many people. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even out as trans to my housemate at the time. And I felt very disconnected from the community. Actually, going back into the space when I started doing, the transition coaching side of things, and I was helping people with that side, and then going into the vocal coaching, helping people feminize their voice, I felt so much imposter syndrome because I was like, who am I to join this space and like help out? Because everyone in my life doesn't even know that I'm trans. Like, I'm not out at my workplace, I'm not even out at home.
Sure.
And so, yeah, it was more of an internal sense of feeling like an imposter in the trans community. When really, I know that that's not the case because I have the trans experience, regardless of whether I was stealth or not. And that, by
Yeah.
the way, is a part of the trans experience for some people. But that was an internal thing. But it also happens externally, where if I'm talking about issues that no longer relate to me, so let's say I talk about passing. I did a little short course thing a little while ago. It was like a 4-session program based on gender dysphoria, and it was to help people relieve gender dysphoria.
Oh, sure.
And oh my gosh, the comments came out. They're like, oh, so
Really?
easy for you to say, like, do you even experience dysphoria anymore? Or, it's different for me. You wouldn't understand because you're, pretty or blah, blah, blah. And so many of these, like, you wouldn't understand, easy for you to say. Um, I was like, wow, interesting.
Yeah.
So I find around that topic, if I ever talk about dysphoria online, my goodness, it comes out.
So your sense of losing touch with the community has come because the community has rejected you. Let me
Rejected
ask
my
you. Oh, go ahead.
experience, yeah.
Let me ask you. Here's a blunt question then. Do you still experience gender dysphoria?
No, is the first thing that comes
Not
to
at all? Okay. The first thing that comes to mind.
If I really unpick it, there have been some times where I've experienced it. But again, it depends on what kind of dysphoria.
Yes.
Because, like, for example, I never experienced dysphoria based on my genitalia. It's never a worry for me. I never felt like I should have a vagina or whatever. But this is interesting. This isn't something that I've spoken about, but since the orchiectomy and having like a sexual relationship with a man since then,
Sure.
there's actually a desire that like I would like to have a vagina. But I don't dislike what I have. I'm not dysphoric about it. However, people will also say that dysphoria is a desire for something else, not necessarily just hating what you have, but a desire for something else as well.
Sure. It's part of the DSM, part of the DSM
That's what I was going to
definition,
say.
right? I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Do I necessarily believe the DSM definition of gender dysphoria is
Well,
comprehensive and valuable and accurate?
well, we'll link the human. Oh my gosh, Harmony and Humanity podcast where we spoke all about that. We broke down the definition and
Right.
everything.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah. Maybe we should link that in the comments of this episode or something.
Maybe.
Uh,
Maybe.
do I experience? It's such a weird question for me now because did I used to experience dysphoria? Massively. Massively. I had so many surgeries that I wanted to get. I hated so
Sure.
many parts of my of my face mainly was the most dysphoria that I got, of my masculine nose and my masculine hairline and all of these things. And
I
then social
know.
dysphoria was probably the biggest thing for me. Like social dysphoria massively.
Mm-hmm.
And then a bit of like the mental dysphoria, so believing that I'm not trans enough and
Right, right.
well, things like that. Part of that was because I didn't have dysphoria towards my downstairs area. Oh, I mustn't be trans because all these trans people are literally want to
Yes.
cut off
Right,
what they have. I'm like, oh, I
right.
don't feel like that about mine. It's whatever. It's just what I pay from. Like, it's just a body
Sure,
part.
sure,
Um,
sure.
so nowadays, I wouldn't say that I really experience much dysphoria, if any. That was like my inner thought process as I went through that in my brain.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Oh, it was a good thought process. I mean, I'm happy to hear that. And I don't know if I wonder if part of that, because let's see, you've been transitioning anyway for what, 12
mm,
years now?
I've been on HRT for 10 years,
Okay, okay.
or 11 years now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
So,
thought, okay. Because 16 till now I thought was 12, but
oh, I was 14 when I started socially transitioning.
oh, okay. Well, socially transitioning. Okay, so we're a little,
Yeah.
13, 12, 14 years, 13,
Yeah.
14 years. Because I wonder if I'll reach that point. I don't know. Because if you had said, and maybe you should have, do I still experience dysphoria? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's much less. I think it's a different kind. Because like I didn't, I haven't gone through all of the electrolysis. Most of I didn't have a lot to begin with, and a lot of it was taken care of through laser. But if I go too long, if I go three days, let's say, without a shave, like that's too much for me. But the really early on, like having to shave was really triggering. And it's interesting. I was thinking about this just the other day, the last time I shaved, whenever the hell it was. I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I just went, "It's not that big of a deal." It's a different. It's sort of like I wish I could get rid of that, but it's not like this all-consuming. Oh my god, I better do something, or I'm just gonna expire. It was, it was kind of maybe someday I'll go back and do that, but
Yeah. I think I do have some more to say on that. You've brought up some good points there
okay, you do it.
because do I believe anyone has the capacity to experience dysphoria in their life at any time?
Of course, yes. So I do, yeah.
Have I I've experienced, ironically, I've probably experienced more dysphoria since my surgery than I have in years because there were some
Mm,
changes that happened, obviously, hormonally, getting
right.
my hormones back into balance. So I started growing like hair, and guess what? It's not much. I have not shaved in weeks, and you would not be able to spot a freaking hair on my leg, but I can
Sure.
spot it. If I look close enough, I'm like, oh, these hairs here. There's like more hairs here than there have been.
Does
I'm
that
like,
bother you?
yes, it does, because
Oh
guess
my
what? I've
gosh.
had a hairless mole rat for 10 years.
Okay. All right. Because I've got some, but
Mm.
I mean, like, literally the last time I shaved was just before I went to a laser treatment, which was early 2025. It's probably been 6 months
Wait, do I have a
since I
laser coming
shaved.
today or is that
Oh
tomorrow?
boy. Hopefully you
Today,
don't.
in a couple of hours.
There you go. I want to
God.
pop this up. We're right on the verge. It's almost 7 o'clock. We killed off a
Woo! Oh my
lot.
God.
Look at all the things we went through. There was a big long stream going through the comments here that I think sort of gets summed up well here by Matt, but it had to do with an overlap between neurodiverse people, gender diverse people, and then I also saw, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Vesper, who brings up, yes, so it also overlaps with pagan and geek culture. And, how about if I just pop this up first? Says, so Vesper says she thinks a part of it is being outside of social norms, like I think like I think you mentioned, and same with me, and then drops to this, which I think is phenomenal. Yeah, I don't think that correlation is equal to causation in this case. I also, having been a software developer, I always see like an exclamation point and then like two equals. Because now I'm thinking about it as well. You have to do like some type, changing, some type. What the hell am I trying to say here? Anyway,
What?
JavaScript stuff. It does make a difference, but correlation is not equal to causation. So to go back to what Matt said, yeah, I think it's internal analysis, our ability to analyze who we are and what we see outside of us. And I think this is true of gender diverse people as well. We have no choice because we get faced with external pressures that internally we go, why is that even a thing? So I like this, the way that Matt puts it. So down at the bottom there, I'm motioning with my mouse, like that makes a difference. Not so much more likely to be trans, but more likely to figure it out. And I think it's the same when you look at paganism, when you look at geek culture. These are things that resonate in certain ways as, outside of really standard social norms. And I think we are it's much more probable that we're going to figure it out. In general, just a certain sector of population. Boy, there was a lot of comments here that I've jumped over. It was like some of them 17 minutes back. I'm like, I think maybe I'll just go forward.
I was just reading a bunch of them there. Oh my gosh.
I know. Here's a weird point. I know quite a few transgender women who were like, I don't like men. And then they transition and then they go, well, I don't know, maybe I could like men. Do you have a thought on that? I mean, I want to end really soon, but do you have a thought on that really quick? Is it going to be quick?
Too, I don't know. I
Did
think
you? Okay.
we have all sorts of weird and wonderful things that happen just as humans, and that's one of the things that
Yeah.
I've observed. I haven't necessarily
Yes.
experienced it
Yes.
myself, but yeah.
Yes. My belief is, my thought is that as we transition, we've had to accept certain things about ourselves, right? I mean, that's just part of it. That's part of rejecting other people's social norms. So as we start to accept one small thing about ourselves, like, oh, I like nail polish, just to start with that. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like whatever. We learn to recognize other things that we do like. And I think many of us, I'm thinking it specifically of the people who said, oh yeah, I didn't like men until I transitioned. And I'm not going to say this is a general rule. I'm saying the people I'm thinking of also were like, oh, it was really sudden that I learned I'm transgender. Somebody diagnosed me and I went, oh, how about them apples? And then I started gender transition and I bought myself pink nail polish and a pink toothbrush and a pink lunchbox and a pink car and then pink, help me out, how many other pink things do we have? Anyway, the point is that I think that once we start to accept those things, we will see other bits that we go, oh yeah, and I totally like men. Who knew? So, yeah. And which I think feeds into this. There are a lot more people in the world who are transgender than will figure it out. So I'm going to pop this up really fast. And here's the point. Matt, I keep meaning to ask Minnie, and I never do. So Minnie, if you're out there, let's collab, babe. I want to shut this down. I'm already about 5 minutes over. I am going to pop this up. I mean, there's some money that comes in, Julia. I mean, I get it from views and stuff, share, whatever. Very, very true. So how about if I just say this, Jasmine, I always love it when you show up. I expected we were going to talk like 15 minutes.
Really? That's hilarious.
Kind of not really, but
No.
but kind of. Like I figured you'd come in and you go, yeah, here's what's going on right now, and then you go, well, I'm going to swing out. I got something else to do, And it turns
That's
into
a
an hour and a
funny
half.
joke, Amethysta. That's hilarious. Because when we talk, on a live stream, we're probably the most concise, which is hilarious. Because when we chat, it's like, I don't know, 3 hours seems to be our median amount of time.
Yeah, kind of. Anyway, I do. So I'm going to shut this down. So just so everybody knows, I usually stream. Not usually. I stream on Sundays and Tuesdays. So Sundays it's 2 p.m. Mountain Time, and then Tuesdays, what was this? 5 p.m. Mountain Time. To answer a question really quickly to Emma, I'll probably send you a Zoom link. So hopefully that works. And so Vesper says, give her some time. You love to talk with us. Yeah, let's do it. I totally love to talk with all kinds of people because this is kind of what I do. Anyway, thank you, Jasmine. Are you coming back next week? How often can you come back?
I don't think I can come back next week. 'Cause the only reason I could
Okay.
this week is because my regular plan had shifted.
Your regular plan is you waking up with your boyfriend and stooping, though? Is that the...
Stopping what? Oh my gosh. Okay. My boyfriend doesn't start work until 11 o'clock on a Wednesday. It is 12
Okay.
o'clock for me now. So
Okay.
usually I'm at his house on a Tuesday night and we go to breakfast together on a Wednesday morning and all of that. So it's one of the times where we have the opportunity to connect. Stop! He's just whispering, stop. Oh my God, stop it.
I will stop with the stooping. Forgive me.
Oh my goodness gracious.
But whenever, I mean, just always drop in because you know how much I love talking to you. So
Making me go red.
I hope so.
Oh goodness me.
Matt says riding the Bologna bus to O-Town.
Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious me. Well, on that note, slapping lasagna, Matt.
Oh, jeez.
Goodness gracious. It's
Now
a
I think I'm
breakfast
turning red,
catch-up.
but-
It's more like stirring the porridge. Let's get the terminology right.
Okay. All right. Well, Talik and Genevieve and Matt and Julia, thank you so much, everybody. I so appreciate all of you showing up. Jasmine, I'll give you my standard heart. What do? You do the this and then you've got to have it off to the side. You want to make sure that your face shows. Yeah.
And then no, it's the other way around. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. All right. I think I'm going to have to just go with my Sailor Moon. All right. There you go. Oh, slapping lasagnas for the Sapphic ladies. I was trying to figure out what that meant. I'm like, what is that? What is that? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, everybody.
No. Anyway,
Well,
good night,
think about that
everyone.
one. Yes. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.